Gerald Celente, nice to have you with us again today.
Oh, thank you, Gary. It was a great presentation of some very important facts and information. Of course, we've been talking about that now for several years, and it's very true. And I was just thinking, actually, this weekend I was writing some notes, and why do people put so much faith in government to help them? And I wrote on. I mean, I just wrote this on yesterday, actually, especially when there is so much evidence how they fail them at virtually every level when they really need it. And it's that herd instinct.
What I'd like to do, Gerald, is just ask you a series of questions and let you run with it. And here are the issues I'm most concerned with. And I'll give you just three at a time, but they're in sequence. We're being told by Obama on this massive national trip and campaign, it's really a form of campaign because he's helping the Democrats wherever he goes in fundraising, that the economy is working. Again, the stimulus packages work. People are back to work. I'd like for you to address that. Then I'd like for you to address the idea that both the Democrats and Republicans are refusing to bring American government, the federal, the state, and local governments, into budget, into restraining them from excesses, where they just refuse to. But the unions will get money where social services get cut. And how, as long as you have a block of people willing to vote for a politician, you will not have to make the sacrifices that other people are making. Thirdly, I'd like for you to address what you see happening in the near future meaning the next 24 months in the United States as far as our economy, also in the countries of Greece, Portugal, Spain, Italy, France, and in Ireland. Could you deal with those, please?
Yeah, the stimulus package is not working. It has not worked. You look at the unemployment numbers. We just saw Christina Roma, who was the head of Obama's Economic Advisory Council, quit. She had come out with the false forecast that with the stimulus package we would be seeing unemployment this year around 8.3%, and of course it's about 9.6%, and that's using fake numbers. Once people are no longer on the unemployment rolls, they're no longer counted as unemployed. Only in the USSA, when I was a kid, you'd expect this to come from the Soviet Union, not from the United States. So when you look at real unemployment, those that are working part-time jobs, that want full-time, and that are working in jobs that are really way beneath their skill levels, and all those that are looking for jobs that can't find any but have dropped off the rolls, you're getting closer to 20%. And their stimulus is now running out, and as you point out, they just came out with another phony stimulus bill, but they reworded it as to something else, and it's giving states more money, and teachers, and firefighters, and policemen, and they do this, as you alluded to, because this is a voting bloc, and the elections are coming up in November. So now all of those teachers and all of those unions are going to be praising Obama. We should be cutting teachers in this country. There are too many of them doing too rotten of a job. Just look at the numbers. We're graduating. We used to be number one in education in every level, and now we don't even win, place, or show. You have now us graduating kids out of college. We went from number 1 to number 12. The education system in this country stinks. The unions stink, and they're doing a rotten job. By their deeds you shall know them. And if this country was doing such a great job, Gary, in education, would we have the most obese nation on earth? Would we have unemployment at levels that we have it? Would we be in all of these economic problems? Would we be fighting wars overseas as we're draining the treasury? This is America. These are our teachers with salaries way beyond their competence levels and turning out kids that are now home with mommy and daddy. after spending $100,000 plus at NYU or Columbia, and they're living at home, and they're paying for their cell phones with mommy and daddy's money. This is America. This is the teachers union. This is what they've turned out around the country. Again, by their deeds you shall know them. Look what this country looks like, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and economically. And as for the next 24 months, before the clock strikes 2000, everyone will know that we are going into the greatest depression. The crash of 2010 will have happened. But you will not know it by reading the esteemed New York Times, the self-proclaimed paper of record. I call it, Gary, since they call what I do pessimism porn, I call them the toilet paper of record. And to make my point, let's just pick up a piece of that old paper from way back to yesterday. This is on page A4, the business section. Double dip? A tipping point may be near? Will the economy pick up momentum or slip back into recession? Unfortunately, the answer is very much in doubt. And then they ask a bunch of their favorite pundits and experts who didn't see it coming to what they have to say. Very much in doubt? By whom? There's no doubt. It's in the numbers, and it's on the streets. You saw last week in Atlanta how many people turned out, Gary, for Section 8 housing? Over 30,000 of them for 445 slots. As Obama's wife is dolled up and going to Spain in the middle of the summer at the height of tourist season. That's how insensitive they are to inconvenience all those other people. This is a let-them-eat-cake moment if I've ever seen one. And all those Obama apologists out there, all those lefties that if Bush was doing the same thing that Obama's doing, they'd be screaming bloody murder. And the bloody murder, again, is on the front page of that toilet paper of record just today. General opposes a rapid pullout in Afghanistan. And this is a story in an hour-long interview with the New York Times. General Petraeus argued against any precipitous withdrawal of forces in July 2011. Hey, Gary, this guy was also on Meet the Press. He also gave an hour to the Washington Post. Since when is a general supposed to be going out there to, as the toilet paper of record says, in an effort to rally the public? Effort to rally the public? To spill needless blood in a losing war that's been going on for 9 years? So this is what's going on. And this is perfect empire decline. And as I said, and you would mention what's going on in Greece, Portugal, here's the bigger message. There are floods in Pakistan with tens of millions of people homeless. They've estimated that also because of the United States proxy war being fought by the Pakistanis on behalf of the United States in the Swat Valley and North Waziristan, there are millions also homeless. The government is helpless to help the people. Let's go across the globe over to Russia. Forest fires going on. They don't know what to do in Moscow. It's the greatest heat wave in recorded history. They think going back to at least 1,000 years. The government is helpless. Let's go back to the United States. Katrina, BP. Oh, what a whitewash that one is, isn't it? How many millions of barrels of oil have spilled into the Gulf, and now it's just evaporated like that. Presto changeo. Have some shrimp, Obama says. Let's go for a swim. The governments are incapable around the globe of dealing with major issues. They are politicians. In that little piece that you read, you talked about campaign financing. When are people going to grow up and call a spade a spade? It's called payoffs and bribes, and the politicians are nothing more than bagmen for the guys and businesses that they promote.